everybody, I'm Kate Hellmers. Welcome to the Stepping Forward with Kate show. Today we're going to talk about starting a new business. I get asked a lot, what are the different steps? So today I'm going to give you a test that you can take to see if starting a new business is right for you. And if it is, we're going to talk about 8 different things that you need to do to start the business, and you'll be on your way. You know, there are 28 million businesses that are small in the United States, and 22 million of them don't have any employees. They're just self-employed people that are working their way through and are their own bosses. Out of the 500,000 businesses that are started every month in the United States, over 50% of those last over 5 years. So you have a great shot, better than a baseball player coming up to the plate, of making your dream come true. Now, what can help you out? That's what we're going to go over today. So let's get on to the test to see if it's right for you, and then we can go through the 8 things that you need to do to start your business. So ask yourself these 3 things. 1, are you motivated for this? And not just motivated because you're passionate about a hobby or an interest or something you think might be a good idea. This has to be a passion of yours. It has to go down to your bones, in the base of your gut. You have to really think this is a good idea. And then you can research it. So if you don't have that determination, think twice, because it's a lot of work. And talking about work, are you willing for the first 2 to 5 years to give up fun parties, barbecues, family events, etc.? It would be as if you have a private jet that's as big as a 747 or a 767 and you're trying to get it off the ground. It takes a lot of work. But once you get up there, wow, what a way to fly. The third thing is, can you motivate yourself to do things? You know, on those rainy Monday mornings when you get out of bed, you have to have the drive in order to do that. And even A-type personalities sometimes need to spark their energy in order to get themselves out of bed. So the 3 tests, if it's ingrained in your bones, if you can put a lot of time and effort into it, and if you can motivate yourself. Here we go, the 8 things you need to do in order to start the business. And the first one is writing a business plan. Writing a business plan can tell you 2 things. 1, it can tell you if your business is even viable, because you're going to have to do a little bit of market research. You're going to have to do research to find out if you can actually make money at this. I remember one of the executives that had left Apple asked me to put together a business plan for him on another venture he was looking at. And I did, and I came back to him, and I didn't know how to break it to him. It didn't look like the business was going to make money. And he looked at it and he said, "Thank you so much. Wow, this has saved me hundreds of thousands of dollars that I was going to invest in this." He said, "I love business plans because they tell you yes or no. And then if it tells you yes, it tells you the path on how to get there." So put a business plan together. If you're going to be going after venture capitalist money, etc., then you need a very detailed 80, 100-page one. If you're not, if you're just going to be putting your own business together for you, still have a business plan, but you can put together a simple one. There are a lot of places on the web that will help you put together a very simple business plan that will give you the information that you need in order to step forward for the next month or 2. Number 2 is determining what kind of business that you're going to have as far as a legal entity is concerned. There are corporations, partnerships, LLCs, limited liability corporations, and even a DBA, which is a legal name that's attached to you personally. So it's not a corporation, but you can use that name in order to run your business. The important thing is register your name, make sure you have all your trademarks, copyrights, etc., everything that you need, and keep your finances separate from your business. You should pay all your taxes on both sides of the aisle as far as your personal and your business. But by keeping them separate, it becomes much easier. There are a lot of places on the web that you can find out about partnerships, corporations, limited liability corporations, etc. For instance, someplace like LegalZoom.com can give you a lot of information about the differences. Research, do your homework, and you can find out. The third thing is establishing an identity for yourself. What is your business going to look like? What is your brand going to look like? So you can have someone do your logo, but it needs to flow all the way through your business. So for instance, what you're wearing should represent what your brand is, what your website looks like, what your social media looks like. Everything about what you do. You should have a 5-word maximum example of what you do to explain it to people. Then you should have a 30-second one and a 2-minute, which they usually call an elevator speech. If you were stuck in an elevator with somebody and they asked you what you did, and this is your target market, your perfect client, if you can put everything you do within 2 minutes and explain that to them so that they are drooling for your product or your services, that's what you want to be able to do. But that brand should run through all of those so that you're consistent and you're sending out to the universe exactly what you want to send out to them. The fourth thing is research, research, research. Meaning that you can spend 10 minutes on the web finding out about incredible vendors, about better pricing for things, and also people that you know that have started businesses. Go interview them. Ask them what the tough times were, what they did to get ahead. You'll find a lot of different examples of things, and then you decide what you want to do, what you don't want to do. Now, this is the warning. You will get every piece of advice from everybody that knows and a lot of people that don't know, especially customers. Customers a lot of times will tell you how to run your business. That's just fine. Just smile and then take in the information. Sometimes people can start poking holes in your business plan or your ideas. Take it energetically, meaning that don't become defensive. What you do is you thank them for the information, and then you go back and you sit for a few minutes and you say, why did I receive that information? Meaning that there's a reason this person's in your life right now. So what about what they said is important, if anything? And you have to check with your own intuition and your own gut and then your own business plan and research to see whether you want to take that information into account or put it on the back burner or throw it in the trash. The second part of research, research, research is don't be afraid to make a mistake. Just don't repeat it again and try and make them really small, because the more you figure out the direction you want to go in and the more you research about it within a limited amount of time, meaning that a lot of people will spend way too much time doing that and never get their product to market, because you definitely want to get your product to market. It does not have to be perfect. It has to be really good, but it doesn't have to be perfect. Also, for professional help, do your homework. Interview 3 attorneys or 3 accountants and then pick the one you want. A lot of times they'll have a free consultation so you can get to know the person ahead of time. Then when you go in and talk to them, when you're working with them, make sure you have a checklist of exactly what you want to talk to them about. And that way, the hour that you spend with them or the 2 hours every once in a while can be very, very efficient and cost effective. Number 5 is financing your business. There are quite a few ways to do it. Most people start out with their own capital and then friends and family. Once you get past there, for instance, government loans, and be careful, a lot of times those are personal loans that you have to pay back. So you have to read all the fine print and know what you're getting into. So figure out how you're going to fund your company. There are different ways, for instance, venture capitalists, but venture capitalists want a lot of your company. So you have to decide and weigh what's really good for you. Of course, there are crowdfunding sites now where you can go on a site, put together a 2-minute video, and if people like your idea, they might invest in it. It's become a little bit harder lately because there are so many people doing that. But hey, maybe yours will get through. If you're a veteran, woman, minority, there are a lot of places where you can get help for small businesses, which is really, really fantastic. And it's not just the funding, it's the backing that things that are great for you to do, organizations that you can join, which will help grow your business also. The last note on financing for your company is don't think that you can just go to other people and bring in money without financial documents. So be sure and check with your attorney, because selling part of your business is definitely a financial transaction, and there are laws as far as what you can do and what you can't do, and your attorney will be able to help you out on that. Number 6 is business licenses, permits, and taxes. You're going to have to register with the IRS and then figure out what taxes that you need, sales taxes, use taxes, etc. And then what permits and business licenses within whatever community you're in. And check it out. Sometimes there's a city and a county and a state. It's one of those things that I always say everyone in high school should have to start a business to know exactly how much work there is and how much red tape there is and how many steps there are. And maybe then it would change a little bit. But in the meantime, you better dot your I's and cross your T's. Number 7 is employees or not employees. It's your decision. As I said, a lot of companies are self-employed, and then they bring in part-time people, or they bring in independent contractors. Be careful on the independent contractors because they have to have other clients. But if you go through a temp agency, or if you go through thumbtack.com or something like that, then you can find people who can do your writing for you, who can create your website for you, who can even be a virtual assistant, and you don't have to hire people. There's so much on the web now. It's so much easier. If you do decide to bring in employees, be sure and check out all of the rules and regulations, everything that you need to fill out, and all of the information that you need. Now, a note on interns. It used to be that you could bring in college or high school interns and they could do a lot of work for you. There was a lawsuit not too long ago that ended that, and it said, wait a minute, you need to pay interns if they're going to be doing anything that an employee would do. An intern, in order not to be paid, it's almost like a class in your company, and there are 6 rules that you need to follow. We put them on the VIP site, vip.your10keys.com, and or you can go on the web and just put in non-paid interns, and you'll get the entire list of exactly who can be non-paid and who can be paid. But even paid interns can be super efficient and super cost effective for you. They just need some training, and again, bring in 2 or 3, see which one works for you, and that's the one you keep around for a while. The same for temp workers. The hourly wage for some of the temp companies is a little bit high. However, you don't have to pay taxes. You only need to have them for maybe 2 or 4 hours a week or a few times a week. And those hours can be very, very efficient if you have everything ready to go and you can just give them the information. Number 8 is refocusing. This is one of the things that major CEOs do. A lot of clients of mine have all of their secrets that they do as far as refocusing is concerned. But it's one of the hardest things for entrepreneurs to do, because the entrepreneur thinks, well, I have my business plan. I'm so busy. Who has time to spend a half hour or an hour a week, replanning and redoing that? You know who has time? Successful people. Successful people spend a minimum of a half hour to an hour a week. Most of the time, they spend a half hour every single morning figuring out where they are, figuring out where they're going to go that day, what they're going to be accomplishing that day, and baby, they get it done. And that's when you're successful, is if you keep recalibrating and refocusing so that you know exactly where you're going. Bill Gates, as a matter of fact, I don't know if he still does it, he used to spend a week every January where he would just go off all by himself to one of his cabins, and he would be able to completely relax and let his mind go free, and new ideas would start coming in, and then he could start getting creative and figure out where the company was going to go, any new ideas he had for technology, etc. And he said it was one of the most productive and cost-effective things he'd ever done, and he did it every single year. So you don't need to find your cabin or your island someplace, but find a coffee shop where you can just sit in the corner and get away from everybody and get your refocusing done. it is money well spent. So as a recap, figure out if you're passionate enough about the business that you want to go into and if it's the right thing for you, if you want to be your own boss. Then go through the 8 things that you need to do to start a business. Write your business plan. Figure out if you want a corporation, DBA, LLC, etc. Establish your identity, brand yourself. Research, determine how to finance it, get your business license, permits, taxes, and everything in order. Figure out whether you want employees, temps, etc. And then refocus. I'm really excited because for our next season on the Stepping Forward with Kate show, I have a whole list of professionals that are going to come in and explain to you how to start a business from their perspective. So I have an attorney that's going to explain not only the difference between partnerships, LLCs, corporations, etc., but what her experience is as far as how they work once you get them set up. If you have a partner, is it better to have a corporation or a partnership? And what are the little words that you need to have in your partnership just in case you divorce? Because those are really important. We have a business plan writer. We have somebody who's an expert in branding, marketing. It's very exciting, and I think you'll learn a lot, and you'll be able to decide for yourself how to use it in your business. So for all of the information on today's show, go to vip.your10keys.com. I'm Kate Hellmers. Thank you for joining us on the Stepping Forward with Kate show.